Hello everyone, Pharmabil welcomes you all busy people to yet another learning video. In this video, we will learn about the Cipla Indore 483 observations. So as you might be aware of the fact that couple of weeks back, USFDA has issued Form 483 to Cipla Indore. So I hope those who are working in the USFDA approved plants, they might be aware of this. So well friends, Indore facility of the Cipla was inspected by USFDA in February month from 6th of Feb to 17th of Feb 2023. It was almost 10 days audit if you exclude Saturday and Sunday. So there were two auditors who conducted the audit and their names were Salim A. Akhtar and Jose E. Melendez. So guys, these two auditors has given total 8 number of observations. So before we understand all these observations, let me make you aware of one of the fact that Salim A. Akhtar is expert in auditing injectable facilities. So with this note, let us understand all these observations one by one. Observation number 1, and the title of the observation number 1 is: there is a failure to thoroughly review any unexplained discrepancy and the failure of a batch or any of its components to meet any of its specifications, whether or not the batch has already been distributed. So well friends, under this observation, auditors reviewed the media field study validation, which was conducted on 20th of September 2021. So during the review, auditors observed that on 14th day of the incubation, turbidity was observed. So investigation was done to identify the cause for the turbidity, and based on the investigation carried out, root cause for the observed turbidity was concluded as a contamination during the sample handling or storage or during the visual inspection. Now auditors cross-verified the batch manufacturing record and they found that there were no such evidences available or the documented which could support the root cause identified. Observation number 2, and the title of the observation number 2 is: procedures designed to prevent the microbiological contamination of drug products purporting to be sterile were not established, written and followed. So under this observation, auditors found that there were approximately 8 instances when power failure was occurred during the batch manufacturing process. So now auditors has raised a concern that firm has not evaluated scientifically the effect of the power failure during the batch manufacturing. Now comes the observation number 3, and the title of the observation number 3 is: aseptic processing areas were deficient regarding the system for monitoring environmental conditions. So under this observation, auditors identified deficiencies in the smoke studies. Auditors observed that the smoke studies do not evaluate or demonstrate the laminar flow of the air to prevent the microbiological contamination. Auditors has reviewed one of the smoke study report, and this is the report number. So in this report, auditors found that the airflow pattern was not evaluated adequately. Observation number 4, and the title of the observation number 4 is: appropriate controls were not exercised over computers or related systems to assure that the changes in the master production and control records or other records are instituted by the authorized personnel. So well friends, under this observation, auditors found that for one of the sterile filling line, historical data related to the critical process parameters such as alarms were not available for the verification. In addition to this, it was also observed that the human machine interface HMI connected to the machine can override the data and was not having the option for printing or the transfer data. And also, operators used to take photos of the alarms, and these alarms were included with the batch record. However, these photos can be deleted. So in response to this finding of the auditors, site head of the Cipla stated that sterile filling lines lack these controls. For one more manufacturing equipment, similar observations were given, and in response to that, manufacturing head for the Cipla stated that alarms related to the critical process parameters disappear after being acknowledged by the operators, and they cannot be retrieved after. As per the manufacturing head, the firm considers all the alarms as non-critical, and that's why these alarms were not documented on the batch records or equipment usage logbooks. Observation number 5, and the title of the observation number 5 is: procedures describing the handling of the written or the oral complaints related to the drug products were deficiently written or followed. Well friends, if you will read this observation, then you will come to know that under this observation, auditors has listed out year-wise product complaints. And here you can see the number of the product complaints is on increasing side year on year. Well, friends, in response to this observation by the auditors, QA had stated that the firm has adequate controls in place and there is no risk to the product quality and the patient safety. And more importantly, the risk assessment done on the 2021 is still valid. But guys, auditors were not satisfied with this response of the Cipla QA head. And they stated that firm's quality unit failed to implement the effective corrective actions to reduce the number of the complaints related to the performance of the product. Well, friends, in another example under observation number 5, auditors observed that the product complaints were not closed within time and there were so many complaints which were open since long time. For example, here you can see one of the complaint is still open from last 314 days or almost 1 year. So this is not at all acceptable. Now comes the observation number 6. Well, friends, in this observation, auditors mentioned that field alert reports were not submitted within the stipulated time. Here you can see the complaints for which field alert reports were not submitted to FDA on time. Well, friends, as per USFDA guideline, field alert report or FAR should be submitted within the 3 working days. So I have made a detailed video on FAR in past. If you want to learn more about FAR or the field alert report, then you can check the link given in the description. Observation number 7, and the title of the observation number 7 is the responsibilities and the procedures applicable to quality control unit were not fully followed. Well, friends, under this observation, auditors stated that during the walkthrough of your facility on 6th of Feb 2023, they found a truck loaded with a bag of scrap containing the torn GMP documents, which include torn pieces of weight prints, microsample labels, certain handwritten notes containing the information related to the activity executed. So guys, those who follow the PharmaPill channel, they might be aware of the fact that similar observation was given to the INTAS few days back. And according to me, this observation comes under data integrity. Now comes the last observation, which is observation number 8. And the title of the observation number 8 is laboratory records do not include the complete data derived from all tests, examinations, and the assay necessary to assure compliance with the established specification and standards. So, well, friends, this observation is related to the microbiology lab documentation practices. Auditors found documentation practices at the microbiology lab were deficient. So let us understand this observation with the help of the stated example in the Form 483. Well, friends, auditors found that after sample incubation, media plates are inspected for the observed colony count. After that, photograph of the observed colony count is taken by the software and thereafter photo is transferred to the document server. And then finally, results are reported in the LIMS and paper worksheets. Now, auditors observed that entries in the LIMS software were not entered contemporaneously. Auditors has also mentioned the detail of the timings in the Form 483, but here you can see the details are hidden. Well, friends, along with this, auditors also observed that observed colony count results should be reviewed by the QA reviewer. But there were no evidences that the colony count results were verified by the QA reviewer on time. Along with this, auditors also stated that all the results were reviewed by the QA reviewer in LIMS in few seconds. So problem here is that the results of the colony count should be checked and verified online. Auditors observed time gaps for the colony count recording, reporting in the LIMS and for the review by the QA reviewer. And one more example mentioned under this observation by the auditors that auditors observed that the manual procedure for uploading the colony count photo on the computer hard drives also followed in case when the software is not working. So in case of the manual uploading of the photos can be deleted and date and time can also be altered. So guys, these were the 8 observations which were issued by USFDA to Cipla Indore facility. So whatever the examples mentioned in the Form 483, we have understood all of them. If you still want more details about these observations, then you can check the link given in the description or you can visit the USFDA website to download the Form 483. Well, friends, after understanding these observations of Cipla Indore facility, my evaluation says that Cipla Indore facility audit will be concluded with the official action indicated from the USFDA, as there were data integrity related issues. If any update comes in this regard, I will update you. So this is it for today. Hope you have learned something new today. Bye bye and happy learning.